like how do you break up your days when you're running a company as the CEO, and where does that fit in? Like, is there a block that is, open space or relationship building, or how do you rationalize putting effort into that amidst the quote unquote important things in the business?
Yeah. Great question. So a few things. I mean, I different folks have different definitions, but I believe that CEO, have 3 or 4 main responsibilities. I mean, one is strategy. Where is this company going? What's the long-term vision? To have that very clearly defined. Where are we going long-term, and what are the steps to get there? Right? What are the most important things that we have to do right now? Then I think people, to quote Jim Collins, the author of Good to Great, he says, it's more important to get the right people on the bus than knowing where the bus is going. So in many ways, right, you get the right people that will help you define where the bus needs to go. Because you can't be an expert at everything. Mm-hmm. It's like at Gembah now, we hired a brilliant head of supply chain, a brilliant head of design. They're so much better than I am in those verticals, and they have helped the company, go leaps and bounds forward by defining, this is what the market needs, and here's how we can bring it to them. So so strategy, people, growth, I think, is something that you can't delegate as a CEO. Certainly, you'll hire a head of sales, you hire a head of marketing, but you can't ever lose the focus on growth, because it's connected to your customers and, what you're delivering around that.
What does growth mean to you? Like, what are the activities associated to growth? The strategy makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. That's pretty clear.
Yeah.
And the people make sense. You have to find the right people and recruit, hire, build relationships. What does growth mean? Yeah.
And growth, I mean, probably more important in a VC funded company than in a non-VC funded company, right? If you're running your own company, you own it, growth is not as important. If you're running a profitable company, you don't really have to grow. Right? You can just continue to make money. Yes. But in VC world, growth is the lifeblood, right? If you're not growing, the whole idea of VC funding, right? They go in at lower valuation, and then you grow, and they're, the stock price that they bought it at is now worth more. And then eventually it exits into, like we talked about, an acquisition, or into the public market if somebody is willing to pay more. Mm-hmm. And that equation just simply doesn't work without growth.
Yes.
So growth is and you'll see that, there's, I forget what the exact percentage is, but, there's a certain percentage that get seed funding. Maybe it's 10%, but only 10% of that, or 20% gets Series A funding, and then only 20-30% of that gets Series B funding. So there's a lot of fallout. So most companies that get VC funding, they don't make it to the other side, right? They fall out somewhere along the line, and I think often it's because the growth, they can't sustain the growth, and that can happen for a number of different reasons, right? You can hit a local maximum. Maybe you grow really fast in the beginning, but your market was really small. You had a product market fit, but the total addressable market wasn't big enough. Or, maybe you didn't really have true product market fit. You were just able to sell a bunch of people, or your friends, or, close-knit people.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really scale beyond that. So your customer acquisition cost is too high. So, so there's a lot around that. And then I think, fourth piece, and also in the VC funding company is funding. It's your job as a CEO to make sure you have funding to get to where you need to go.